Time now for our 360 round. For that, I want to bring in our panel to react to Broadcom's earnings. Shares are rallying to new all-time highs today. Joining us now is John Freeman, co-founder and senior analyst at Ravenswood Partners, and Ron Westfall, analyst in residence at Hyperframe Research. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. So, John, let's start out with your reaction to it's not just about its results. Clearly, they've got this big new customer. The Financial Times says it's OpenAI. What's your reaction to the results from Broadcom and this news?
Well, Broadcom, wow, it is definitely impressive right off the bat. There's no doubt about it. Definitely a winner from a generative AI infrastructure build. The way I view it, though, right now, you've got we don't own it in our portfolios. Primarily because we are tilted more toward memory and compute. So that would advantage NVIDIA and Micron. But certainly this win by Broadcom, ostensible win with OpenAI, kind of may change that. It definitely poses a risk. There's no doubt about it. But that win is primarily what they call an XPU, which is more fixed function. And so we believe that, the GPU ultimately, as long as NVIDIA can keep the developer community, which it has locked down, there are over 4 million CUDA developers now. So the gravity of the market continues to go with NVIDIA and GPUs. But this is definitely something to keep an eye on, no doubt about it.
And then, Ron, what's your take?
What's not to like? I mean, we see the results, and I think they pretty much speak for themselves. Record revenue of $16 billion in the quarter, representing a 22% year-over-year increase. And I agree with John, that the OpenAI win, which is not official, underlines why they are experiencing so much success, not just, in the current most recent quarter, but also looking forward. For example, they are reporting record backlog of $110 billion. And so that is certainly a positive indicator that there is a bright future for Broadcom's prospects in the AI accelerator market, in the ASIC market segment. And I think other indicators that are very important to know is that there is a total addressable market of $90 billion by 2027 just in AI chips. And certainly Broadcom will be winning, I think, a huge portion of that addressable market. And also, not to go unmentioned, is the VMware side of the business, the infrastructure software side of the business. And clearly, the results there are positive. In fact, what we're seeing is that there has been no mass defection of VMware customers over the last few quarters. I think those perspectives were highly exaggerated, and that Broadcom is really just firing on all cylinders in all its major areas.
John, talk to us a little bit about what you think this deal, this reported OpenAI chip deal, means for the broader chip space.
So, yeah, I mean, it is definitely a shot over the bow. There's no doubt about it. Generally speaking, though, I want to know the details on this chip, how programmable it is, and what the development tools are going to be, because that will define whether this is kind of a one-shot thing that OpenAI is doing, perhaps to, maybe gain leverage over NVIDIA, to try to find another strategic supplier of generative AI silicon. So, I want to know those kinds of details in order to figure out what the implications are for NVIDIA. But one of the winners in either case is going to be TSMC, because TSMC actually manufactures the chips for both of those guys. So we like TSMC. Probably it's our favorite name in this, what I call the Moore's Law complex of TSMC, NVIDIA, Micron, and then on the semi-cap equipment space, we like ASML and Lam Research, which are used, their equipment is used to stamp out those chips.
Yeah, ASML actually got an upgrade today. I think it was UBS who did that upgrade. Ron, really quickly, I want to ask you this. So there are those who argue that Broadcom should be considered a part of the Mag 7. You move somebody out and you move them in, or the Mag 7 Plus, and they should be added. What's your view on that, especially as, I'm glad that John brought up the point about NVIDIA. I mean, you can't ignore the move besides today that Broadcom has had this year. What's your thought, Ron?
It's really vectoring and trending in that direction. I think Broadcom can join the Mag 7 unless there's an expansion to say Mag 8. Otherwise, in terms of who could Broadcom potentially supplant, I would say Tesla is a likely candidate because of things that are going on specific to the EV market that don't impact Broadcom directly and some of the other Mag 7 players. And as a result, Tesla is relatively more vulnerable to geopolitical considerations, tariffs, and so forth. And I think what we have to really pay attention to is the AI revenue. Broadcom reported an increase of 63% on AI revenue year over year. And so what that is indicating is that there's not going to be a let up in the AI market, certainly when it comes to AI infrastructure as well as AI data centers, that factors such as energy considerations and so forth are not going to be impacting the Broadcoms and the other key AI players, certainly not through the rest of 25, and that those factors won't really kick in until, say, after 2025. So yes, I would say Broadcom is a very viable candidate to becoming part of the Mag 7.
All right, that makes sense. And look, as we're speaking, we got another price target increase. This one's from Truist on Broadcom. They're raising their price target to 365. We've seen, price target adjustment after adjustment today. Thank you, guys. That's Ron Westfall from Hyperframe Research and John Freeman from Ravenswood Partners. Appreciate that breakdown there.